special meeting of the Board of Trustees is being held to consider and vote on Penn State's 18th president. This morning, the trustees met in executive session to discuss this matter. In accordance with our bylaws, we have provided teleconference capabilities for trustees not able to attend and vote in person. I would like now to call this meeting to order. And Jeannie, would you please call the roll?
Alexander, Arnell, here. Broadhurst, here. Brown, here. Casey, here. Clemens,
here.
Corbett, Cotner,
here.
Dambley, Dandria, Duran, Dumaresque, Eckel,
Present.
Erickson, Ferretti, Frazier,
Here.
Gregg,
Here.
Herbster,
Here.
Hintz, Huber, Curry, Lubert, Lebrano,
Here.
Mosser,
Here.
McCumbee,
Here.
Myers,
Present.
Oldsey,
Here.
Peets, Schaefer,
Here.
Silvis,
Here.
Strumpf,
Here.
Talaferro,
Here.
Brandstetter.
Okay, those of you who are on the phone, please mute the phone now so we can take care of the background noise. In March 2012, our 17th president, Rodney Erickson, announced his intention to retire by June 30th of 2014. In November 2012, a 13-member trustee presidential selection council was named, and that council was later augmented with the addition of Bill Oldsey. In January of 2013, the 18-member Presidential Search and Screen Committee was named with Nan Crowder, Dean of the College of Health and Human Development, as chair. Dan Hagan, then immediate past chair of the University Faculty Senate, professor of animal science in the College of Agricultural Sciences, and current executive director of the University Faculty Senate, was named as vice chair. It has been a privilege and an honor to work with both groups and the larger university community on the important task of identifying our next leader. The process has been the most collaborative experience of my professional life, and I am proud to have been part of it. Let me now turn to Kathy Casey, Vice Chair of the Committee on Compensation, to review the parameters of the employment contract for the presidential appointment. Our chair of the Comp Committee is on the phone, but Kathy will take over because she is here in person. Kathy?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Today's meeting of the Committee on Compensation is for the sole purpose of considering the terms of a presidential appointment. Before we begin, I will ask Jeannie to please take a roll call of the committee members.
Strumpf,
Here.
Casey,
Here.
Dambley, Peets, here. Silvis,
Here.
Mosser.
Here.
The committee met this morning in executive session to consider the terms of a presidential appointment. The purpose of this public meeting is to vote on the terms of that appointment, which were described in detail to the committee in its executive session this morning. Before taking the committee vote, let me review a few of the terms of the appointment. The term of the appointment will begin May 12, 2014, and run through June 30, 2019. In addition, we are pleased with the possibility of the candidate joining us as a president-elect on a date prior to the official May 12 start date. Such an arrangement will allow for an efficient transitional period. The initial and annual salary, which will be reviewed annually, will be $800,000. There will be a one-time transition payment of $200,000, payable shortly after the candidate takes office. A $200,000 retention payment will be paid at the end of each of the second through fifth years if the candidate remains in the position at the end of each such year. And there will be a completion payment of $1 million paid upon the completion of the full 5-year term. The candidate will hold a faculty appointment in the candidate's area of discipline, and the individual will be considered for a granting of tenure on the university's immediate tenure review process. Salary upon return to a faculty appointment would be set at the average base salary of the highest 3 tenured faculty members in the candidate's department. The president will reside in Schreier House with utilities and house maintenance included, and will reimburse the university for any personal items purchased with university funds. Other reasonable and customary benefits will also apply for this type of appointment. The full presidential appointment terms will be posted later today on the Board of Trustees website. I would like to note that our compensation consultant has found the proposed compensation package for the president to be reasonable based upon their assessment of the peer market compensation levels. Keeping in mind this is a consideration of the committee and not the full board, may I have a motion from a member of the committee for recommending adoption of the appointment terms as discussed in executive session?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion among the members of the committee? If there's not any further discussion, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The motion carries. I want to thank the committee members for your participation today and your thoughtful review and engagement during this important process and discussion. As this was the sole purpose of the meeting today and there being no other business before us, this concludes the meeting of the Committee on Compensation. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Kathy. Karen Peets, Chair of the Presidential Selection Council. So I will now turn the podium over to Karen.
Thanks, Keith. As Keith mentioned, the process which brought us to this exciting moment in Penn State history was one of thoughtful deliberation and collaboration among the university community, the Presidential Search and Screen Committee, and the Trustee Presidential Selection Council. The role of the Search and Screen Committee was particularly critical in this process. We owe our gratitude to the members of the committee, which was comprised of 9 faculty members, 1 staff member, 2 academic deans, 1 vice president, 2 undergraduate students, 1 graduate student, an alumni association representative, and a representative from the Department of Intercollegiate Athletics. This was an extremely thoughtful group of people who each brought unique and important perspectives to the table. Would those members of the committee who are present please stand to be recognized? I would offer our special thanks to Nan Crowder, Chair, and Co-Chair Dan Hagan for their outstanding leadership of the Search and Screen Committee. Thank you, Nan and Dan. Another extremely valuable component in the process was a structural one that helped enhance communication between the 2 groups. 4 individuals in each group joined the other group in discussions and deliberations. Keith Mosser, Paul Silvis, Peter Tombros, and I participated in all activities of the Search and Screen Committee. Likewise, Nan Crowder, Dan Hagan, Sean Gabadon, Distinguished Professor of Criminal Justice at Penn State Harrisburg, and David Hahn, Associate Professor of Surgery and Radiology at the Penn State Milton S. Hershey Medical Center, participated in the Trustee Council sessions. Special and personal thanks to those 7 individuals for the countless hours that they spent to reach this successful conclusion. Nearly 400 individuals were contacted about the position, and another 150 were asked to suggest candidates who might be available and interested in the position. This outreach specifically included women, underrepresented minorities, and leaders from traditional higher education and non-traditional backgrounds. Additionally, we engaged the university community in identifying the traits and attributes important in the university's next president. Discussions occurred in open forum settings at University Park, one of which was streamed to the campuses, and 2 campus forums were held as well, one at Penn State Berks and one at Penn State Beaver. In addition to these open forums, scoping meetings and discussions allowed for various stakeholder groups to spend time considering the work ahead for the next president. The process involved numerous occasions for the Search and Screen Committee to meet with the candidates and pass along their feedback and recommendations to the Presidential Selection Council. I am proud, Keith, on behalf of the Trustee Presidential Selection Council and with the support of the University Presidential Search and Screen Committee, to recommend Eric James Barron to be Penn State's 18th president. Dr. Barron has served as president of Florida State University since February of 2010. In this role, he helped enhance the institution's academic stature, financial stability, research reputation, and service to the state and to the nation. Before his presidency at Florida State, Dr. Barron held a number of notable positions within higher education, including Dean of Penn State's College of Earth and Mineral Sciences from 2002 to 2006, having joined the Penn State faculty in 1986. Dr. Barron is a renowned scientist and has a distinguished record of research and teaching in atmospheric science and geosciences. Prior to his presidency at Florida State, Dr. Barron served as director of the prestigious National Center for Atmospheric Research in Boulder, Colorado. He previously served as dean of the Jackson School of Geosciences at the University of Texas at Austin. In his 2 decades at Penn State, he held various positions, including professor of geosciences, director of the Earth System Science Center, director of the EMS Environmental Institute, and dean of the college. He also earned the title of Distinguished Professor of Geosciences at Penn State. Dr. Barron's scholarship and leadership have led to numerous honors. He's a fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, the American Geophysical Union, the American Meteorological Society, and the Geological Society of America. He's also been awarded the Nassau Group Achievement Award and the Nassau Distinguished Public Service Medal. In 2012, the Martin Luther King Foundation of Florida honored him with the Bridge Builders Leadership Award. Those of you who knew Dr. Barron from his previous life in Happy Valley may remember that he and his wife, Molly, were both deeply committed to the community, with particular focus on the State College Area School District. Eric served on the school board, and Molly was a dedicated volunteer and teacher in the middle school computer technology program. She, too, is a passionate advocate for education, students, teachers, and the community, and we're looking forward to welcoming her back to State College. With pleasure, Chairman Mosser, I'm pleased to place Eric James Barron in nomination to assume the presidency of Penn State on or before May 12th, 2014.
Thank you, Karen. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I will ask the board staff to please distribute a resolution on this matter. Before each of you is a resolution to appoint Eric Barron as Penn State's next president. For the benefit of board members in attendance via teleconference and the public in attendance or watching via video stream, let me read the resolution into the record. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves Eric James Barron to the position of president of the Pennsylvania State University, effective on or before May 12th of 2014. On substantially the terms set forth in the presidential appointment terms recommended by the Committee on Compensation and presented to the board in executive session. Trustees Peets has nominated Eric Barron as Penn State's 18th president. Is there a second?
There is. It is my honor to second the nomination of distinguished scientist Eric Barron as Penn State's next president. I do so with pleasure, delight, and enthusiasm. The pleasure comes from our welcoming Dr. Barron back to Penn State, where he spent 20 years of his outstanding career as a teacher, scholar, and academic leader. My delight is in knowing that he embodies the values of Penn State as a student-centered university with a land-grant mission. Clearly, he's committed to the affordability and accessibility of a college education and deeply appreciates the importance of fully engaging students both in and out of the classroom. My enthusiasm springs from knowing that he will be the face of our university, telling the incredible story of Penn State's world-class faculty and research to the state, nation, and the world. Chairman Masser and fellow board members, I cannot imagine at this point in our institution's history a more effective leader than Eric Barron to communicate the vision and promise of Penn State.
Any discussion from members of the board? Yes, Anthony.
Mr. Chair, I have a brief statement I'd like to read into the record, made part of the minutes of this meeting. Chairman Masser, members of the Penn State Board of Trustees, and Dr. Barron. Dare to be great. Those were the words Joe Paterno shared with some of us in attendance during a meeting of Penn State's Grand Destiny fundraising campaign. Prior to the start of this historic effort, we learned that our goal was to raise $800 million in private funding. But Joe, who along with Sue Paterno served as the honorary chair of the campaign, told us, as only he could, it's not enough. $1 billion, that's the goal. Having never raised more than $400 million during a campaign, we wondered aloud, why do you think we can raise $1 billion? Joe's response was in typical Paterno fashion, dare to be great. In a sense, Dr. Barron, your challenge is precisely the one Joe Paterno put to us more than 15 years ago. Dare to be great. Recognize, however, that this will not be easy. You join us at a time when many in the Penn State community are still deeply hurting, and the elephant in the room remains the same as it did November 9, 2011, a man named Paterno. Thankfully, Dr. Barron, you have extensive experience with such matters. Not long ago, in fact, while serving as Florida State's president, you demonstrated great courage and true leadership when some in the media and public were quick to condemn and convict one of your student athletes. Your statement at the time resonated within the Penn State community. Florida State University has a primary purpose to educate young people while enabling them to hone their skills and to develop their gifts so they can become productive citizens. It is also our responsibility to treat students fairly and provide appropriate support. Recent weeks have provided a painful lesson as we have witnessed harmful speculation and inappropriate conjecture about the situation and the individuals involved. As a result, we have all been hurt. A respect for the principle of due process, essential to the integrity of our community. Our commitment to each and every one of our students is unwavering and will remain our priority. I hope the winds of change are blowing in the form of a renowned climatologist named Dr. Eric J. Barron. It's time to bring us all home. We want to return. We want to heal. We just need a leader to show us the way. We were fortunate to have had a great president in Graham Spanier and an even greater humanitarian in Joe Paterno. Now, Dr. Barron, it's time for you to leave your imprimatur on Penn State. But remember, as my late mother would often remind me, leadership sometimes requires standing by oneself. Let me leave you with this story. On January 10, 2012, I spent time with Joe Paterno. During that time, I discussed with him the fact that as a result of his firing, so many in the Penn State community came together who ordinarily would not have interacted with each other. His reaction was typical Joe. With his left hand, he pointed at me and said, "Hey, this isn't about me. This is about our school and leaving it a better place than we found it." So there you have it. The gauntlet has been put down by none other than Joe Paterno. I end where I began. Dare to be great. We are, and still very, very proud of it. Congratulations and welcome back, Dr. Barron. I look forward to working with you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Is there any other discussion? Joel?
Yeah, I think this is an excellent choice of Eric Barron as president. I knew Dr. Barron and his wife Molly when they were here over 20 years in the college. It's also great to pick another president from the Earth and Mineral Sciences College, a great college, and it's particularly appropriate that we do this on President's Day where the sun is shining brightly. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman, Keith Eckel.
Yes, Keith.
I would just like to urge my colleagues to join together in support for this splendid choice. And I want to congratulate both Karen and yourself for outstanding leadership in bringing this great new president to Penn State University. I enthusiastically urge my colleagues for unanimous support.
Thank you, Keith. Any other discussion? Before I call for a formal vote, I would like to allow time for comments from a few of our university colleagues who served on the University Presidential Search and Screen Committee. They each represent different constituents and can offer unique perspectives on Dr. Barron that I hope you'll find helpful before voting. Will Brent Yarnell please join me? Dr. Yarnell is the current University Faculty Senate Chair and Professor of Geology in the College of Earth and Mineral Sciences.
Thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts on Eric Barron, but I'm a professor of geography and not geology. An award-winning teacher, Dr. Barron has been an innovative leader in providing undergraduate students with superior curricular and extracurricular experiences. He's worked to give students integrated services, staff, and space, as well as opportunities to develop leadership, professional, citizenship, and research and space, as well as opportunities to develop leadership, professional citizenship, and research skills outside the classroom. Penn State can expect him to be a powerful advocate for our reforms in general education and our initiatives in engaged scholarship. At the same time, Dr. Barron has been a major force in supporting research and graduate education. He's a distinguished climate scientist and scholar. He's directed a national laboratory, and he's helped set direction for U.S. global change research through the National Research Council. Penn State can expect him to guide our university to an even higher level of research success. Dr. Barron is at core a faculty member and an advocate for faculty development, faculty rights, and faculty diversity. He's open, collegial, and collaborative. At the same time, he has an uncompromising quest for faculty excellence. Penn State can expect him to build an even stronger faculty at the same time that he continues to improve shared governance across the university. I can attest to these claims because I worked for and with Eric Barron for 20 years in Penn State's Earth System Science Center and College of Earth and Mineral Sciences. I saw his talents and his devotion to Penn State firsthand. I look forward to welcoming Eric and Molly back to Penn State and the Penn State family. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. Will Caitlin Mullen please join me? Caitlin? Caitlin is the president of the University Park Undergraduate Association and a senior in supply chain and information systems. Caitlin?
As one of 3 students on the Search and Screen Committee, I feel privileged to be a part of this collaborative process and to voice my support for Dr. Barron. I was greatly impressed with his commitment to student concerns, especially the affordability and accessibility of higher education. I'm confident that he will work with student organizations for the betterment of Penn State. I'll be graduating in May, so I look forward to supporting Dr. Barron's work as an alumna. Thank you to everyone who has given me the opportunity to represent the student voice in this important process. Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin. Will Tim Whitehill please join me? Tim is an application system analyst manager in the University Budget Office. Tim.
As a member of the Staff Advisory Council, I've been proud to represent staff interests on a number of occasions. At no time has it been more rewarding than during this search process. Everyone came together with one unified goal and enthusiastic support of Dr. Barron. It is clear he understands the concerns of staff and places high importance on collegial environments, fiscal responsibility, and a supportive workplace. He is an outstanding choice. And I greatly look forward to the future with Dr. Barron as Penn State's 18th president.
Thank you, Tim. Will David Hahn please join me? Dr. Hahn is one of the crossover members who served on both the Search and Screen Committee and the Trustee Presidential Selection Council. He is an associate professor of surgery and radiology at Penn State's Milton S. Hershey Medical Center.
Thank you, Keith. Over the past several months, I've had the opportunity to participate in the search process from several perspectives. As a physician and scientist at the Penn State Hershey Medical Center, as a teacher and faculty senator from the Penn State College of Medicine, and as a past president of the Penn State Alumni Association, the largest, and in my opinion, the best alumni association in the world. From every vantage point, I've been deeply impressed by Dr. Barron. He has nearly 35 years of experience in academic administration, education, research, and public service, as well as fiscal management within large and complex organizations. I am certain he is the right person to advance Penn State's core missions of teaching, research, and service. The Alumni Association was fortunate to have two past presidents serve on the Search and Screen Committee. Katie Smerilli, the immediate past president, is unable to be here today, but did ask that I share with you our enthusiastic support of Dr. Barron on behalf of the Alumni Association. We believe that Dr. Barron will be an outstanding president and a wonderful collaborator and friend to Penn State alumni everywhere.
Thank you, David. Finally, I'd like to call on Nan Crowder, Chair of the Search and Screen Committee and Dean of the College of Health and Human Development. As Nan comes forward, I would like to personally thank her for her outstanding leadership, thoughtfulness, engagement, and commitment to this process.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
On behalf of the University Search and Screen Committee, I am here to express our collective excitement about the prospect of Eric Barron becoming our new president. I first want to thank the Board of Trustees for working collaboratively with our committee. Having 4 trustees serve on our committee helped us be heard and understood, and having 4 of us serve on the Trustees Selection Council made the decision-making process more inclusive. We've made a long journey together, and the fact that we are all so thrilled about where we are today fills me with optimism about our future. Eric Barron is about academic excellence and ensuring that students have access to a high-quality education. At Penn State, he was a highly respected scientist, center director, and dean. As Karen explained, he has had a series of varied experiences since he left Penn State 8 years ago. And all of those life experiences have shaped him into an energetic and data-driven leader. Our committee was quite taken with his intellectual breadth, his wisdom, his integrity, and his wry, self-deprecating sense of humor. When we launched the search, Stan Eikenberry, who is a beloved Penn Stater and former president of the University of Illinois, told our committee that we needed to find someone who would fall in love with Penn State. That was his assignment to us. And it was clear in our conversations with Eric Barron that he and his wife Molly had fallen in love with our great university years ago. I couldn't be more pleased that someone who will lead with both heart and head is our candidate to be the next president of Penn State. Thank you.
Thank you for those remarks, and thank each of you for being such a pivotal part to the process. I will now call on a vote to name Eric Barron president of the Pennsylvania State University, effective on or before May 12th of 2014. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by the same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries, and let the record reflect that the board has unanimously approved this resolution. On behalf of the Penn State Board of Trustees and the Penn State community, it is a great honor to welcome Eric and Molly Barron back to Penn State. At this time, I'll turn the podium over to our current president, Dr. Rodney Erickson.
Thank you, Keith. With 24 campuses and a world campus, 98,000 students, a medical center, a law school, an $850 million research program, a $4 billion plus operating budget, and 31 intercollegiate sports, Penn State is an exceptionally large and complex university. Finding a candidate with the right skill set and commitment to the land-grant mission was no easy task, and certainly one that could not be rushed. I commend the Search and Screen Committee and the Presidential Selection Council on their thorough, deliberate, and thoughtful approach to the process. Today, we celebrate the result of your hard work and due diligence. In Eric Barron, you have found a leader who will help realize the very best of this institution and will successfully lead Penn State into the future. I have known Eric for 28 years and can say unequivocally that he is a person of the highest integrity. He has strong academic values. He loves working with students. He's an excellent problem solver. He is committed to the land-grant mission, and he knows how to make the most of the resources he has available. Eric has always been an enthusiastic and supportive voice for Penn State, and he has my unqualified support as he takes on this crucial role at this historic moment. I offer him my full assistance during the transition, and I congratulate the entire university community on landing both Eric and Molly Barron. Molly is also a very special person and one who will be an advocate and enthusiastic ambassador for Penn State. I know you will enjoy getting to know both Molly and Eric. The Penn State presidency couldn't be in better hands. Without further comment, I'd like to invite Dr. Eric Barron, Penn State's 18th president, to the podium. Congratulations.
Well, thank you for the honor of leading this truly great university. I am much more than pleased to accept. It's truly my pleasure. My wife, Molly, and I spent 20 years here. Faculty member, center director, dean. In that time, I learned what it meant to continually strive for excellence to make every year stronger than the year before. And I have to say that for my 4 years as dean, Rod Erickson was my boss, but he was much more than that. He was my mentor, and I honor him for it and how he impacted my career and my life. I also came to understand the power of community at Penn State. We are simply unbeatable when we're working together for a common purpose. I've taken those two Penn State traits, the push for excellence and the power of community, everywhere I have gone. So in many ways, I never left Penn State. Penn State lives here, Penn State lives here, and it's a great pleasure to be about to live here. And in true Penn State fashion, for every job that I've accepted, I have set the same goal and asked the same question of myself: how do you make a great institution even better? That defines my job. It reminds me of a story that I like to tell about learning to drive with my father. It was an exercise in constantly correcting and overcorrecting, as you might imagine, driving down the road. And my father said, "Eric, lift your head up instead of driving by looking at the hood ornament." Of course, that dates me, right? Lift your head up and look down the road. And if you look down the road, you will discover that it's much easier to get to where you're trying to go. And at the time, I thought that was a pretty good driving lesson, because when I lifted my head up above that hood ornament, I definitely had a much better driving experience. But I also came to realize that this was a philosophy to live by. Our job, all of our job, is to see down the road, sense the future, and ensure that this great institution is at the forefront of success and achievement. And there are enormous opportunities ahead. And we could sit and talk about them, but I'll just give you a single example. And I hope in the process that you'll forgive me for one more automotive analogy. There should be a universal question in higher education today. Why don't students take full advantage of the breadth and depth of a university? Why don't we take full advantage of all those things we might do as a student? If you view Penn State as sort of the educational equivalent of America's sports car, a blue and white Corvette, if you will, or pick Mustang, you pick the brand that you're most interested in, but you view yourself as that blue and white educational equivalent of America's sports car. We need to ask, why is it that so many students drive at 20 miles an hour when there is so much that is worthwhile? If we can engage students in and outside of the classroom, then I'm absolutely convinced that they'll be happier, they'll make better choices in life, they'll have stronger resumes, and they'll get better jobs. So this is a key opportunity. The opportunity to provide a university and to engage students so that they put this great university through its paces, as opposed to driving at 20 miles an hour. My bet is that Penn State can do this better than any other institution, with incredibly positive outcomes for our students. It's one example, just one example, with more to come, hopefully, with one goal: to make a great university even greater. I want to thank you again for placing your trust in me. My wife Molly and I are a team, and we intend to make you very proud. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dr. Barron, your father would have made a great farmer. That's precisely the advice you give someone when you want to plow a straight furrow. We look forward to your upcoming leadership with enthusiasm and excitement. Eric and Molly, we are delighted to welcome you back to Penn State. I also want to thank all of you for attending today's special meeting. As a matter just concluded is the only matter for the day, this special meeting of the Board of Trustees is now adjourned. Thank you.